What do you say? Everybody's orange my color? Well, well, I'm sliding. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is the beginning of October up here at 10,000 feet. It's kind of wintry. We got a little bit of snow on the ground. Well, we're back up here at the stick chewing location. No, just kidding. We are doing some hammer testing today. I'm going to catch you up a little bit on the lore here. After hearing a whole bunch of reports from people that I know of their new Estwing rock hammers breaking, I did some investigating into the subject, and Estwing now says that these are meant for hitting wooden stakes only. I refer you back to that video where we came out, tested one of these brand new hammers, and little chips of it were flying off at Mach speed. We looked at it under the microscope, and sure enough, there's heated portions of the hammer face from hitting rocks that is fractured off and shot out. I know of one person that had to go to the ER because a little bit of metal embedded in their leg, and 10 out of 10 would not recommend the new Estwing rock hammers. Well, there begs the question then, is the old one, are they actually better? I've had some email conversations with one of the engineers over there at Estwing Tools, asked a whole bunch of very good, thorough, detailed questions, of which zero they answered, and instead they're just like, nah, brah, everything is awesome and good, and our hammers are as good as ever. Not the answer I would have liked, but you know, based upon their own website in the 2010s, they automated the heat treating of these things, and then they replaced probably a ton of people with, I think they said 70 robots, and a lot of their other products, not the rock hammer yet, a lot of their other products, though, are being made in China, India, and Taiwan. And so to say they are exactly the same and everything's great, I disagree. So what I did was I got on eBay and I purchased an old Estwing rock hammer based upon the logo here, probably from the 1970s. Hard to know exactly, but it is in great condition, okay? So if the engineer over at Estwing is correct, I will be able to hit the identical rocks that I did with the new Estwing, and it should shatter, shooting little bits of metal everywhere. And if it doesn't, instead if it just dents and dings and compresses and deforms, that means the old ones are in fact better. So place your bets, everybody. Let's smash some rocks. Yeah, it's also hunting season, by the way. Hunting season. Hey, Sarah, any predictions about the rock hammer? What do you think? Old one's better? New one?
Probably better.
You know, I mean, hey, if Estwing, they've been very honest. They said their new ones will break and you should only hit wooden stake hammers, and I proved them right. And maybe they're right here. Maybe they've been junk the whole time.
I don't think so.
Let's find out. Okay, let me show you this. So nearly right away I could tell that the hammer is very different than the new Estwing. And after swinging on stuff a crazy amount out here on this volcanic rock, look at that. It's like a little rougher, but it's not this. Like, compare the faces here, right? Like this one, when we were out here, absolutely got mashed. Like just like huge giant chunks coming out of it. And then when we moved over to the even harder rocks, we're gonna go hit some agates here, it was just peeling off bits. I would say that this new handle transfers less vibration into the palm. This one's a little harder, right? Like physically, like a harder nylon. Obviously one's like 50 years old and one's new, so that makes sense that this would be a little harder in the hand. But like the lack of any kind of real damage is the important part here. Kind of crazy to see. Kind of crazy. Sarah, you look cold. Okay, will you go over there and look at those two hammer faces? You've watched me hit a lot of rocks with a lot of hammers.
Yeah, this one looks, I guess I didn't look at it that closely.
It was virtually brand new.
I mean, it looks really good still. I don't really see the bottom part's kind of dented there.
Yeah, there is a dent in the corner.
Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, it feels smooth.
Yeah. It's like
I don't like that.
Yeah, this is like sharp bits, right? Sharp bits on that one and rather smooth on this one. I think I've seen enough out here hitting these volcanic rocks and busting them up to where if we're going to see something break and shoot off, it's going to be over there hitting agates.
Maybe the sun will be over there.
The sun's probably going to move between now and then. Sorry. Yeah, it does feel different. If you feel the squishiness of the handles, obviously the new one is more squishy in your hand, but that should be expected, right? Like on a 50-year-old hammer versus a new one. But I'm surprised. Okay, so let's go hit some agates, break some hearts. People don't like seeing the agates busted up, but who cares? There's a ton of them, and we have hammer science to do. One could say it's hammer time. We are at the hammer breaking locality. Everything that you see behind me right here is agate, dendritic agate, and with the modern Estwing hammer, it took 5 hits until bits of metal were being ejected from the hammer, and you could hear them go pew. So I don't think it's going to take a whole lot to know if this rock back here is going to break that old vintage hammer. This is what I'm working with. Hard rock, 6.5 or higher. It's a little hard to know. I've tested this on the Mohs scale, and it's like between a 6 and a 7. And yeah, colorful stuff. Soon it shall be colorful broken stuff. It's denting. I have some initial impressions here. There are some bits missing from the face of this hammer, okay? Let's see, can we do this? There's some bits missing from the face of the hammer, and I didn't hear any bits like rocketing off, and I didn't feel anything shooting and hitting me. So that's a good sign. And it does look, from my initial impression, that we have a lot of mushrooming of the head as opposed to chipping out. Like I can feel it, and it's like, it feels a lot like a chisel that's been hit a lot, and it's kind of like the head's mushrooming, and it's relatively soft. So, you know, I look at it like, you know, a piece of metal can chip and it can fall to the ground, or a piece of metal can ship and it can leave at 1,000 miles per hour. Not joking. Metal shattering is way strong enough to penetrate like your neck, right? And you can see what's out here. Whole lot of nothing. Thus, I had the face shield on. Now, I'm going to think about some of these tests more. We're going to head back into the shop. We're going to look at the face of these under the microscope and see if we can find any points where the metal is discolored from the chipping. But my initial impression is that, this would clean up nicely with a file and it's good. But let me think about this, and the microscope doesn't lie. Well, at this point, I own several hammers. I wouldn't say I'm a hammer expert, but I've swung a couple of these. I've had some time since this last test to do some thinking about this whole thing, and I do want to address a little piece of criticism that was levied at me in the last hammer test, which was a real rockhound wouldn't ever use a hammer like that, just beating on stuff. And that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point of the test, is that this is an affordable item. And, let's say it's Christmas time and this is given to somebody that's a new rockhound. Maybe they have a rock tumbler. And they go somewhere and they're like, I got my hammer. I can go make that big rock a small rock.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point. In the perfect world, you would only ever use chisels. That is like the best thing to do for here, okay?
But a lot of people are like, oh, hammer, these hammers aren't cheap. You're not like, let's buy a hammer and a chisel and a thing to hit the chisel because it's not this for hitting a chisel. That's a lot of things. People don't start with the full set.
Yeah. The handles. This has the most slender handle out of all of these here. And it feels amazing, okay? Like, if we compare this one to this, it is more narrow in that way, and it's more narrow in this way. And I did go through and I measured all of these. If you really want to compare it, this being the thickest handle, right? Like, that it feels so refined, even in comparison to a modern one. This one is several millimeters smaller, so it feels quite nice in the hands. Handles are subjective, though. I mean, what feels good in one hand is going to feel very different in another. But that's not what you're here for. You probably already know that. I put this one under the microscope, and we can clearly see here in these images that the head has some damage to it. However, when compared to the new one, which chipped in a manner that heated the hammerhead, you can see in these two images here, they look very different. What will not clearly show on camera is that when I rub my finger across this, I'm feeling burrs. That is because the head of the hammer is mushrooming, okay? Because it's denting. It's not shattering into a million pieces and shooting bits of metal. It's softer. It's softer. And I would maybe compare it like hitting a baseball with an aluminum bat versus a wooden bat, right? They have very different feels to them. And these have very different, I guess, hardnesses. I think that's just what it comes down to, is that the new ones are hard enough to shatter, and the old ones are going to get kind of dented up. It's going to get dented, and you're going to have to take a file to it and clean it up. So, 10 out of 10 would not recommend the purchasing of a new Estwing rock hammer. If you do, I would say there's some stuff that is a necessity. These things, right? Not my safety glasses, your own. You don't have to have. You don't have to have mine. And some of the seriousness of this topic started to weigh in my mind or whatever. I was thinking about it. We go way deep into the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
right? Like, not that long ago, we were like 50 miles out on a gravel road
Yes.
in the backcountry. And if you are going to have something like this, I'm not an expert in medical stuff, but if a chip of this can fly off fast enough to penetrate your skin and go into you and make you bleed, can that then also go through an artery?
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Is it like thicker there?
I don't know.
So neck, leg, right? These things live in my backpack. This is a staged tourniquet, so it can be applied one-handed. Don't get a cheapo. This is a compression bandage. I think they call them like a Israeli bandage sometimes. I don't know how it got that name, but those are in my backpack, as well as that thing. And these are meant to save your life. These are also meant to get you to a car, which has a big first aid kit, which we also have. Because if this thing here shatters and a bit of it goes into Sarah's neck and we're 50 miles out on a gravel road, what are you going to do?
Try not to die.
That is good advice. So yeah, do I have a good answer for you? I guess. In the perfect world, you are buying a vintage Estwing Rockhammer. Of course, there's not enough for all of us. And in lieu of that, the Ox Grip one is also one that is soft and is mushy, right? Like, it's going to mush up on you. And the downside, though, like I already pointed out, that handle.
It's really big.
The handle is chunky. If you're an adult man, if you wear a size large glove, it feels all right. If you are maybe a size medium glove or smaller, not too great. Not too great. I don't have any good answers, I guess. It's disappointing. I'm bummed out by this. And buyer beware.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I don't know.
How's that feel in your hand? How's this one feel in your hand?
Yeah, this one's just too big.
It's chunky, right?
Is
it's
it
chunky.
heavier too? In general, it feels heavier.
I feel like they're plus or minus a couple of
It
ounces.
just feels awkward to hold.
I think we know what's happening here. When we weigh it all out, I weigh it all out. Estwing is offshoring product lines to India and China. They have a lot of robots. They have a lot of automation. And now we have a product that is inconsistent. What if I was to purchase like 100 of these and test them all the same? Would I be getting this exact same result?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question.
Obviously, I can't buy 100 hammers and test 100 hammers, but is it that this is an outlier? And if so, how many are outliers? And there's just too much going on with the metallurgy of these for me to grasp. I don't have the resources or the money to properly test it. All I can suggest is that all of the reports of broken Estwings, the photos of broken hammers, my first-hand accounts, and showing one breaking on camera, whereas other ones have not, I lean towards just don't buy it. Don't buy it. We can now put it into the junk pile. So, and then also that one goes in the junk pile. So then you have old hammers. Mm-hmm. You have old Estwings.
And they're not that old. You're not looking for like super vintage.
Yeah.
Old.
Then you have the Ox, but the handle, guys, they should taper that. And then you have more premium ones where they have their own issues. So overall, sufficiently bummed out.
The market is ripe for somebody to come in and make a ergonomic, safe, sturdy hammer.
Yeah, one that just gets
Reasonably
dents in it.
Yeah.
A dented handle. Dents. No sharp little burrs flying off and breaking the sound barrier. Well, everybody, that answers that. It's sad. I'm honestly like a little saddened that this has become what it has. So let me know your thoughts down below. I appreciate them. I read every single comment. Go check out the website, and I will catch you on the next video.
You would never bring these with you. Really? This is so long.
I put that handle on there.
Why is it so long?
I mean, the idea is that, like, it's like a smash thing, this hammer. More.
I've never seen you use it.
I was literally using it at Garnet Hill.
I didn't see you.
You were there holding the camera.